In this video, we're going to be discussing some very rudimentary statistics. There is meaning in every number. It just depends on how you look at it. So if I give you the statistic, 3 out of 4 dentists recommend Colgate. One of the things that I would challenge you to do, not just as an individual in our society, but as a consumer, is really begin to question some of the statistics that we see everywhere. I mean, in newsprint, in advertising, in magazines. Ask yourselves, what might be some ways to challenge that statistic that 3 out of 4 dentists recommend Colgate? I've posted a discussion board forum. We are going to create some challenges in that forum to that statistic. So maybe some possible alternative interpretations, maybe some questions to how the data was collected. So be sure to review that. The other statistic that I want to talk about is 1 in 3 women will experience sexual abuse by a family member. Now, one of the things that is very challenging about dealing with and looking at very sensitive and controversial topics is that if somebody is challenging us emotionally to accept something, we are less likely to question it. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to do is that even when the information is maybe obviously this one is sexually and traumatically charged. It might be gender-based charged. It might be ageist. It might be all of these different non-politically correct statements and circumstances and situations that we have in our culture. Approach those numbers with skepticism too, because even though they are emotionally laden, they are still numbers and they still are based on something. So we want to challenge those origins. So go ahead and check out our discussion so we can look at 3 out of 4 dentists recommend Colgate. The other thing that I want to talk to you about are 3 terms, mean, median, mode. Our mean is what most of us think of as the average. It's where we add up all of the values and then we divide by the number of values present, which we have done here in our little green dude example. Now, what's wrong with this? Does our mean represent what we think of as theoretically the average, the middle point? Absolutely not in this circumstance. What we have over here on the right side of our little green dude bar graph or bar is we have 2 individuals, one at $47,000 per year income and another one at $710,000 per income and thousands of dollars. Those are what we call outliers. Outliers are those individuals that are outside of what we consider normative. And normative in this example is between 15,000 and 90,000. Again, 90,000 is kind of on the higher end, and we can see that the bulk falls between 15 and 50, but we can still consider 90 within that range. So the mean, what a lot of us think of when we think of sort of the middle spot, is not actually the correct middle spot. What we really want to look at is we want to look at what we call the median. The median is the middle point. That is where 50% of the sample is above that number and 50% of that sample is below that number. And if you look right here in our stack of the $30,000 value, we see the median. 50% of the little green dudes are over here and the other 50% are back here. This represents what we as a culture have come to theoretically understand as the average or the mean. And you can see with our 2 outliers over here, they really throw these numbers off. I mean, there's a difference here of $40,000, which is quite a bit of money. It would be very misleading to see this number. The last one I want to challenge you with is the mode, and the mode is the most frequently occurring. And there are many instances where the mode would be the most telling or the more accurate number to represent for the population. Just so we could see, you know, the average. When somebody says the average, theoretically what we're thinking of is the median in this example. But when we say the majority of individuals in our community make, we would follow with the mode number, or in this case, $20,000. So super short introduction to the mean, median, and mode. Remember to check out our discussion post on the challenging of the statistics.